Sup nerds, I'm Tom. We're going to talk about Silver Dagger, the fourth game in the Silver line, and actually it goes Amulet, Bullet, Coin, Dagger. So A, B, C, D, which means if they make a fifth one, they're going to call it Silver Egg. So this is probably going to be a quick video because I'm not going to really talk about my thoughts on the game Silver in general, just what the Dagger version sort of brings to the mix. We already have our thoughts for the other versions, but what this one does mainly is this one's probably the most swingy of all of the versions that I've seen thus far. It does add a new token type, this private deck, which... so there's only one card, this guy, what is it? It was like the 10 or the 11 or something. Which one was it? Yeah, it's the 10. It adds a card to your private deck, which is pretty cool because you can always look at that, right? And you can decide if you're going to, when you go to draw a card, are you going to draw a card from the main deck or from your private deck, so you can time things out a little bit better in that way. There's also like the 2 will half all of the cards in, if you have it face up, it'll half all the other cards you have in your village. The 13 has this weird thing about if your total is exactly 50, you score 0 points for your cards, and all other players add 50 to their sum. I mean, that's a real Hail Mary, hard to do. But then there's also the zombies. They like never go away. They always bounce around with other players. Flipper lets you flip over all cards in any village. So a lot of these cards seem, I don't want to necessarily say more powerful. Well, yeah, I guess I could kind of say that they're just bigger swings. You know, they're slightly less strategic type cards and more just wacky, wonky, crazy things happening. Probably the lamest one, though, I can never remember. Oh, there it is. The 11 changed the direction of play. That's just the type of thing I don't really care about that much. And it's kind of nerfed in a 2-player game because all it means is you go again, right? And well, change the direction of play. That's either going to be your turn or your turn, you know? So it just means you go again, which, okay, cool, 2 turns. I mean, unless you already have face-up cards that you can trigger, like once per turn, right? It's not that strong. I mean, it is strong in that scenario, but again, that's a bit more of a Hail Mary, kind of more swingy in effect. And actually, the dagger portion, the little thing that you get in between rounds, and I generally tend to play Silver as just a really quick sort of one and done. Maybe we'll play 2 rounds, but I never feel the need to play the 4 rounds together to, you know, really see who's won overall. You know what I mean? This game is light and silly, and especially with the memory aspect, you can screw up just because you're having a beer or you're talking with somebody else, you know. So I don't feel the need to really settle in for Silver, you know. Play around in between games or as a cooldown or as a warm-up or any of those things is fine. And I have played the full game before, of course, but I don't feel the need to do that. But anyways, this little piece is generally only used if you're linking 4 games together, and this is, in my opinion, one of the lamest ones because it does change direction of play, and that's just not that okay. I mean, that can be strategic sometimes, but okay. Silver Coin, it lets you flip a card either face up or face down. That's pretty strong. Silver Bullet lets you pretty much like destroy a card. That's really strong too. Silver Amulet lets you like protect a card from like other players' abilities, which is also pretty strong. Probably the weakest of those 3 that I just listed, but I do kind of feel like the Dagger is the weakest of the 4. All of this to say, while I still do like Silver a lot, I mean, it always is a hit. Well, maybe not a hit. A lot of people do tend to like it. Nobody dislikes it, really, unless they just don't like memory games, but that's relatively rare. I mean, I won't bring this out for somebody who says explicitly, oh, that has a memory aspect, I don't think I would like that. But it always does either well or really well with new players who try it out. You know, we always have a good time with it. But this might be my least favorite. Just the wonkiness, it's very swingy. And a bit silly. Now, if you're a person who swaps out certain cards from one deck to another, right? So you can use like the 13 from Silver Amulet and the 4 from Silver Bullet and whatever to mix in here. So if you just want more cards so you have more options, of course, that's fine. Totally get this, because some of the cards are cool. I mean, I probably would keep Flipper. I like Flipper a lot, even if it's just because it's a dolphin that's offering you burgers with either jellyfishes or little palm trees on them. Not palm tree. Yeah, palm trees. Either way, it's a SpongeBob reference. Again, I do still like it. I'm definitely keeping it. But this would probably be the last one I recommend you buy. Maybe purchase them in release order, or I might actually like Bullet the best. Especially because the Bullet is arguably like the coolest and most useful one. I mean, especially, I guess, I wonder if you could use that in Zombie. Because Zombie is definitely annoying. If I were to play this again, I probably would swap out the Zombie. I really don't like them. Actually, one player ended up having all 4 of them in his deck, in his village, and that was pretty annoying. Zombie can't go in the discard pile, so I can't remember if Bullet puts a card in the discard pile, or I think it removes it from the game. I can't really remember. But anyways, doesn't matter. That doesn't change my opinion of this version, which again, probably going to be the last one you should get. Well, I said the Dagger is the weakest. It definitely looks the coolest though, right? Well, nerds, those are my thoughts on Silver Dagger by Bezier Games. If any of what I was talking about in this video sounds interesting to you, I am going to put a purchase link to this version as well as all the other versions of Silver in the description box down below. I might even put a link to Cabo down there, because if you haven't played any of these and you don't even know what I'm talking about, Cabo is it's a very similar type of game, but it's a lot easier to grasp, so maybe you should check that one out too. You should also check out our link to Game Toppers. That's this really nice tabletop thing we're filming on right here. It actually goes on top of your table. You got playmats and all that stuff. I don't want to do the whole spiel, but it's awesome. Check it out. Either way, you should definitely subscribe to our channel, because that way you will never be bored.